Hey family, happy spring equinox and happy Aries season. Aries season, this is the first season of the astrological new year. Aries are the first of the zodiac, so they represent that initial spark, taking initiation. So a lot of new projects, new opportunities, jobs, things of that nature. It's a new year essentially for us. So if you are someone that didn't really do your mood boards, really didn't set any intentions for this new year, then you are right on time, honey, because this is really the time to start cementing those intentions and writing things down and doing the mood boards and all of those things. Because this is really when that energy starts to pick up and we are gifted with this fresh start. I love it. I love it. So this might be impacting, not this might be, this energy is impacting all of us. So you don't have to be an Aries. This is the new year for us. And when we think about spring, right, we think about gardens and blossoming and growing, right? So just as we have our own gardens that we might tend to, we also have our own personal gardens. So when it comes to upkeeping, if you have plants at home, then you know that sometimes you have to prune. You have to take off those dead stems or those dead leaves in order for the plant leaves to truly manifest and blossom in their most healthy way, right? So we have to take that energy into our own personal lives and take that into account too. So this reading is all about what are we planting and what are we pruning. I really want to hone in on the things that we're releasing, the things that we are getting rid of, the people that we are getting rid of, while also trying to see what new opportunities are coming into fruition. What is spirit directing us to initiate or to lead or to bring about into our lives? So this reading is general. So if all messages do not resonate, they are not supposed to, because this message is for whoever it is supposed to receive. If you ever want to dive deeper, then you know you can book a one-on-one tarot reflection with me or an ancestral session with me. Or if you just kind of want to quote unquote pick my brain, ask me a few spiritual questions, then you can book a mindful minute session. I'm also starting to open up for creative consultations as well. I'm not doing any design work at this time, and honestly, things are getting a bit busy, so I don't see it happening in the near future. But if you are someone that is interested in maybe hearing my personal insight about what it takes to grow in a brand identity. So this is like your mood board, this is your website, things of that nature, and how you present yourself and how you represent yourself, and tying it all together and creating an experience that of course represents you and is authentic to you, but also drives engagement and brings people to your brand or brings people to the work that you do. So yeah, I never really addressed that. I've been getting all of these emails about, am I going to be doing design services? Not right now, but you can book me for a creative consultation. Okay, y'all, so let's do this pruning and planting. So do we start with the pruning first? Like, are you guys someone that that wants to hear the quote unquote bad news before the good news? I feel like maybe that's where we should begin. And I want to say that this pruning is really about the sacrifices that we are collectively making. What are we releasing, letting go of, for the sake of our own personal growth, as a way for us to surrender to our growth? That's really the message that has been coming through so strong from my ancestors, is surrendering to my growth. So it's hard. It's really, really hard. But when spirit says go and when spirit says it's time to lead, then we have to step up. We have to step up to the plate. We were born for this. We were born to grow. We were born to expand. So this is our birthright, but this is also just something that is a mystical power is stored within us, you know? So first of all, I'm trying to think. I have like this new setup, y'all, where my decks are here. And if you on my Instagram stories, then you saw like I have like this little cute little setup now. I got a bigger table. I got a bigger table because I really wanted to dive a bit deeper and have more space and more room to pull more cards. And if you guys read tarot or work with cards in any way, that you know that it's easier to really to get a scope of the reading when everything is laid out right in front of you, especially if you're someone who's a visual learner. And I'm talking so much, which is making me feel like some of y'all or a lot of you are also feeling very chatty. Maybe just this Aries season is making you feel really excited. So doing a lot of talking about the things that you are anticipating on manifesting or the things that you have in the works. Now, and as I split, Ace of Wands is here. So now that is cool and all, but remember, like, yes, talk your talk, but you should be moving. There should be some movement. That's where this Aries energy comes into play. Getting a move on things. Okay, so we are inviting our honorable ancestors, angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, light beings, and light entities, your guides, my guides, your ancestors, my ancestors, to come through and use me as a vessel. I'm using my ancestor oil to come through and use me as a vessel to tune into the collective energies. Spirit, give me messages surrounding this new Aries season and this astrological new year. Spirit, what are we collectively pruning? What are we collectively planting? What are we manifesting? What are we releasing? Trying to decide what. Let's do this. You know, I always have to go to my energy oracle cards. So first of all, Spirit, what are we collectively pruning? What are we releasing? Blossoming abundance is flowing through. That's interesting that it's coming through on pruning. So I feel like there are things that you started last year that you started maybe around this time last year and you were really excited about it. There was a lot of talk about it, but never really went anywhere. Maybe the plans changed. Maybe you just got suddenly uninspired or took a different path, and you're officially saying, you know what, I loved this idea, and maybe you still do love it, but you're recognizing that this is just not the time. You're recognizing that I don't want to force it. I don't have the time to do it. And when I put my energy into something, I put my all into it. I'm not half-assing it. So that's something that I'm going to release off of my plate. Maybe this is something that I'm going to give an idea and gift it to someone who I know that can do it justice. Is what I'm hearing with this blossoming abundance. But I felt like this was something that you were really looking forward to, and you're just saying, you know what, I trust in divine timing. I trust that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and right now it doesn't feel right to me. And you were saying, I release it. I know that this is not something that Spirit is calling me to do right now. So I feel like we're taking, there's a sense of maturity that I feel as well. Like a year ago, this might have been something that you could not stop thinking about. This could have been, this was something that you really, really were confident about, really, really sure about, that you wanted to bring into the world or to do. Because this could also be connected to something that you wanted to study, is what I'm also picking up on. And now you're saying, no, thank you. No, thank you. Not right now. Not right now. There's something else there's something else that I need to be putting my energy and attention into, and this is just not the one. So I also feel like that's relationships as well. So you might have met someone new last year and were really enamored by them, and now it's just like, that was cool, but that's not really what I want. So I feel like you got what you wanted. I feel like some of us this past year got what we wanted, but then recognized that it was, once we were in the battlefield, we realized that that was not something that that we actually wanted. It was something that maybe our ego wanted, maybe a previous version of you wanted that, maybe your childhood self wanted that, maybe you recognize that you never wanted it, your family wanted that for you, or your partner was kind of pushing that on you, and you're just like, nope, I'm not doing that anymore. Okay, Spirit, what else are we pruning this season? What are we collectively pruning? Rest and rejuvenation. Interesting that this is coming through, but I feel like this is coming through as a warning, because when Aries season comes into play, we're so inspired. We have all of these new ideas, all of these new projects that we want to take on. We feel like we have the bandwidth to do all of these things at once, but we don't really put in our own personal time and our own rest into it. So I feel like some of you guys with this rest and rejuvenation here, Spirit is saying like, you might need to be putting that into your schedule. You might not be taking into account how much energy it really takes to activate a certain project, or how much energy it takes to engage with multiple people, because we've been in the house, we've been home, we haven't really been doing a lot of one-on-one connecting, and now that things are starting to get a little bit safer outside as we start to get vaccinated and things of that nature, we're spending more time together where we really weren't. That physical connection really impacts our own emotional energy. So I'm also seeing that a lot of you here are also empaths. So when you come into a group, when you come into a room, or you're connecting with a group of people, you take on that energy and you feel that energy, which is cool sometimes. But because this is like new to you, again, like we're reintroducing ourselves to the real world, as crazy as it sounds, Spirit is wanting to make sure that you're taking into account the rest that you get, making sure that you are taking breaks. If you have your schedule mapped out for the next 2 months, okay, are there weekends where you have breaks for you to just rest and not do anything? Are there times throughout the day where you can say like, you know what, I have an hour, let me hit the bed real quick and take an hour nap? Like those things are going to be really, really important. So Spirit wants to make sure that you're not removing that and you're taking that into account. It's coming through with pruning because we're not really seeing the value in rest. And how can we tend to our gardens? How can we tend to our communities? How can we show up in these spaces if we do not feel good, if our cup is not full, if we're not well rested, if we're not hydrated? You know what I mean? You don't want to show up looking a mess with bags under your eyes and you're just like, I'm so exhausted, but I've been working though. Like, no, we have gone past that. We are not overworking ourselves at all. Like, no, period. It is your birthright to find your flow. Find your flow, and rest is in that flow. Do not neglect that. I'm feeling real spicy. Okay, Spirit, what else are we collectively pruning? I'm hearing majestic, and I'm hearing it in a way of romanticization. So there might have been a person that you were romanticizing. You were wearing rose filtered glasses last year. There was a sense of naivety that you had, and now you're like a lot more aware, a lot more mature. You're coming into situations. Being open and observant. Open and observant, open to hear and see what everyone shows you or what someone shows you. Because I also feel like one of your lessons or some of your lessons this past year was like being too trusting and putting people on a pedestal. People that you know, people that you don't know, and you're taking those rose filtered glasses off to see things for what they truly are. So that allure or that like majestic feel that you would feel is starting to deteriorate. But that's a good thing, because it kind of brings you back. It kind of grounds you and brings you back to reality, that we're all human. We all breathe the same air. And I think it also was a lesson to you to not be so trusting in people, but also not being so trusting what people have to say to you and letting them show you, and being like, you can be surprised by that, but not being surprised by what they said, which is funny because I had a conversation about that today. Okay, Spirit, what else are we collectively pruning? As you see, I'm kind of channeling, I'm kind of receiving these messages. I'm just shuffling to channel. So let's see what cards fly out. What are we collectively pruning? Wow, okay. So what's coming through? The Hierophant, the Six of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands in reverse, and the Moon. Okay. One of the lessons, or another lesson that we learned or are learning, is back to putting things on a pedestal. Do you see this staircase with this Hierophant? In this moment, the Hierophant is representing like big society, I don't want to say big society, but like the companies, the big companies, the people that we feel that they've marked their place in a certain industry. So for example, like if it was e-commerce, and it would be something like an Amazon. I feel like publications, so some of you guys watching this, I feel like we're writers. I feel like work got stolen. I feel like someone's work got stolen, but this is what you're pruning. Not being so giving, not being so willing to give everything before, you know, there needs to be some sort of discretion. And I feel like what Spirit is kind of, I feel like this message is so specific, but I feel like Spirit is saying that when it comes to working with other people, when it comes to collaborating, when it comes to shooting your shot and things of that nature, making sure that you're not revealing everything. You are staying discreet with certain things, staying discreet with your moves, not giving your full ideas and your intellectual property away. Okay, like do not give that shit away at all until you have signed a contract. And even then, don't give that shit away. Keep it for yourself. But I feel like you have learned that, or you might have had an experience where you had a meeting, or you were shooting your shot and you sent a pitch, or you shared your idea with someone, and someone who had more resources, someone who had more connections, someone who had more resources, more connections, more money. They had the ability to really carry that idea through, and I feel like they took that from you. And I feel like they might be trying to share it with you in a way, but it's no longer yours. So I feel like ownership is something that's really, really important. And I find it's interesting that this message is coming through with what we're pruning, because let me receive this message first. I feel like the model that we have been shown is so capitalist driven that it takes away small business ownership, or owning your rights and things of that nature. That slow process of doing the work, mapping things out, being strategic, slowly building, like very much so Knight of Pentacles energy. I feel like that energy is underappreciated, and we just want things quick. We want things immediately. That's why this Ace of Wands is in reverse. This message is so clear. We want things, it's like we want that instant gratification, and we're starting to realize that that doesn't always work. It's not substantial. It doesn't allow us room to truly grow, because we're skipping certain steps, we're skipping certain lessons. So I feel like a lot of us this year, Spirit is wanting us to embrace that slow and steady progress, but also making sure that we are keeping ownership of the things that are ours and not being so willing to give away our ideas, especially at small percentages. And I feel like you've learned your lesson, or someone watching this has learned their lesson. Spirit, can you elaborate on the Six of Pentacles? I also feel like there's something there. You're also learning to be, I feel like some of you are also learning to not be too overly giving, right? With the Six of Pentacles here. Being too overly giving and recognizing like it goes underappreciated, or maybe you're starting to realize like when you were giving, you weren't really giving away from a pure intention because you were expecting something. You had some expectations, higher expectations. So you were like, well, if I just do this, then you know, I'll get this in return. So Spirit is just like, nope, or not. I won't even say Spirit is nope. You are saying, nope, that does not work for me anymore. Back to the corporate structure and these like higher companies as well. I think that we're not like allowing that to intimidate us anymore. People in positions of power use their power to abuse, use their power to manipulate, use their power to control, and we don't want that anymore. You're starting to realize, like, I even feel that if you are someone who is a business owner, you're starting to like lessen or bridge the gap between being that emperor energy, that source of authority, but also being someone who's a part of the group. I feel like there's such a huge separation when it comes to that and these business models and these structures, and we're starting to take some of that away. So I also wouldn't be surprised if bigger businesses are starting to draw a smaller gap between like the higher ups and the people that are working on the floor, or really the root and the foundation of the business and of the company. Maybe there will be greater compensation or appreciation for that. This could also, I feel like there's going to be a lot of lawsuits. I feel like there's going to be a lawsuit this year. And I'm just saying this as a prediction. I'm seeing that there's going to be a lawsuit with a big company, and someone's going to get their money. Someone is going to get their money from that lawsuit and create another business or another company that is adjacent to that company that they were working for. Like, oh, yeah, I like your model, but I'm going to do this better. And maybe that's what you're thinking about. Maybe you're saying, yo, I really like I don't know, Amazon just keeps coming up, but I really like the business model of Amazon, but this, that, and isn't working. Let me create a new version of this, is what I'm feeling. Do not allow your fear to get in the way. Do not allow your fear to get in the way. I feel like there are big changes, and I feel like there's big breakthroughs to happen through just giving yourself that shot. So Spirit doesn't want you to be paralyzed by fear before turning that thing into a reality. I'm also feeling like a lot of people are going to start speaking their truth. They're tired of holding secrets. That's where this moon is coming through. You might also be recognizing that there is a mother or maternal figure or a Cancer figure in your life that has been really toxic to you, and you could do better without them. And you are not allowing the side conversations. Oh, but that's your mom, or oh, but that's your grandma. Yeah, but you don't know my life. You don't know the dynamics. You don't know, and not being guilted by that. I do feel like I definitely feel like the dynamics between there's definitely some toxic feminine energy that is going to be called out this year or this season. Spirit, can you elaborate on this moon? Yeah. Okay. But here it is. The moon coming through with the Hermit. So that isolation, keeping a distance, Queen of Swords, setting some boundaries. Five of Cups, like, yes, you're going to be sad. Yes, you're going to miss this person or miss this thing. But it's just like, I need my space. I need my distance. I need you to process your own thing. I feel like some of you guys might be doing some shadow work, or we're doing some shadow work because we're pruning, right? So this moon could represent the shadow work that you have been doing this past year. And now you're coming out from the shadows. Now you're able to share everything that you have learned. There might be a secret that you are about to share with the world, or share with your family, or share with your friends. So yeah. Now, that's the pruning, which I feel like it wasn't that bad. I feel like these were really great messages. Now, let's see what we're planting. Okay, let's cleanse this. Ooh, my nose is starting to itch. Okay, Spirit. Let us know, what are we collectively planting and manifesting and bringing into the world? Strategy just came through. Strategy just came through. So a lot of us are planning. We're in the planning stages right now, really getting all of those fine details together. Really getting all of the fine details together. So you might be creating an actual business plan. You might be planning to make a trip, planning to host an event, planning to host some sort of retreat or some group trip, or I don't know. I feel a lot of maybe you're also just planning to plan. As I know that sounds weird, but what are you planning to plan? Maybe you're planning weddings, planning engagements, planning on moving. Okay, Spirit, what else are we collectively planting this season? Okay, what came through? Healer of the Ages coming through, thinking, okay, this is a long, okay. Healer of the Ages, thinking man, woman holding a coin, anxiety, second chakra, which is our solar plexus. Now, let me sit with this message real quick. Okay, one message that is coming through is you are trying to heal someone, or you see you see an area where someone that you love, this could be this thinking man, you could be the thinking man, or you could be the woman holding a coin. I feel like this is, I don't know, I feel like this is both masculine energies, and I feel like these are two sides of the coins. I feel like you are someone who is connected to someone who you've really been praying for their healing. So whether they have an addiction to something, whether there's just an area that needs improvement, or there's room for them to grow, like we all need to grow. We can always improve on something. And I feel like you see this in this one person, and you're just like, I have the insight, I have the wisdom, or I've been in your position before, let me help you. But you're getting anxiety about doing it. You're not really feeling that confident. Maybe this has to do with someone's confidence. Maybe this has to do with healing someone's sacral chakra. Sacral and solar plexus chakra. So this could also be like you helping with someone's confidence in a way. And it might not be the actual confident, but something about them that would make them confident. Whether that's like a new workout routine that'll make them feel better, or you have some sort of resource that can help them. I feel like some of you have people that you love that are making things that you don't want to say is ass, or is not like that great, but you want to help them, but you're just trying to figure out how to approach it. Like, how do you politely say, Can I please help you because you need help in this area? And I feel like that's where this anxiety is coming from. Like you seeing that you have something valuable to give, whether this is like money, whether this is some advice, wisdom that you can share. You have it, and you've been thinking a lot about it, but you're getting anxiety about it because you're not sure how to approach this person. You're not sure how to approach this situation and how to really go about it. So let's see. I'm gonna get rid of these. Always remember that when, and so strategy also came out. So that has to do with plan or thinking about a plan. Ask Spirit to show you what is the best way that I can deliver this message. What is the best way that I can deliver this insight or this information without offending this person that I love, or without making them feel that what they're creating or what they're doing isn't already substantial enough? Because you don't want to offend, you know, you just want to help. And it could also just, you don't even have to, okay, sorry. You don't even have to say that it needs help. You could just be like, this is where, Ace of Pentacles just came through. You could just be like, this is my experience. I'm trained, or whatever the case may be. Let me help you. Like, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you improve. Just extend yourself, extend it. And once you extend it, you might realize that this person is a lot more open-minded than you thought that they would be. And then the anxiety that you had will fade because it wasn't that deep. Because it happens a lot. Okay, Spirit. The star just flew out with death and rebirth. Wow. So back to this sacrifice, and this is where the sacrifice comes in. Some of you have already sacrificed. This death card is showing that endings are here, endings are near. Maybe you recently ended a relationship. Maybe you recently left a job, or left a certain situation that was not feeding you, that was not serving its purpose. I feel like you said that this is, I need to release this. I need to let you go. And now you're starting to see how different your life is. But I think also I think these last couple of months might have been really difficult for you. Of course, processing and grieving death or any type of ending is for the birds. But you are starting to see with this star that it needed to happen. It needed to be surrendered is what I'm saying. So you might have surrendered to something or to someone. So I'm also feeling like there might have been someone who actually surrendered. Maybe someone that you know, or you committed a crime and you literally surrendered yourself to the police. And it's weird because I never get messages like this, but it's like you were forced to do that because you just would have dealt, or this person would have really dealt with a lot of internalized regret, internalized grief, internalized guilt. So it was just like, let me just do the right thing. And there's a release that comes with doing the right thing. So I felt like in a lot of situations, you did the right thing. The right thing it might not have felt good, but it was the right thing to do. So Spirit definitely applauds you and thanks you for doing the right thing in that situation, whatever that situation means to you. Okay, Spirit, so let's elaborate on this death and rebirth. We're also having star and Aquarius energy. Star and Aquarius. We're also having Scorpio and Aquarian energy coming through. So this might actually be a Scorpio and Aquarius relationship, whether this is a romantic relationship or business partnership that is going to start really growing and expanding this season. Or this could just be this Scorpio energy and Aquarian energy coming into your life. Or you are the Scorpio or the Aquarius. Spirit, can you elaborate on this death and rebirth? The Nine of Wands is telling me that like you stood your ground. So I feel like for a long time you were trying to preserve or prevent this ending. And wow, Nine of Wands. You were trying to preserve or prevent that ending, but because it served its purpose and because it was no longer meant to be in your realm, Spirit had to remove it. So this will be a lesson to you about flowing, not forcing, and surrendering. Okay, Spirit, can you elaborate on this death and rebirth? Justice, Eight of Cups, King of Swords coming through. It's like you got... See, this Justice and this King of Swords, remember how I definitely feel like this is legal things. I mentioned that before, but I felt like this is legal things. Speaking up, saying the right thing. I feel like with this King of Swords and this Justice energy, you spoke up, you spoke a truth and you shared your truth, or you shared the truth, and it was really difficult, but you did it, and now Spirit is here to reward you. Spirit is saying that like you did the right thing, and now let me pour into you, now let me gift you with something. So I feel like that hard decision was actually bringing in a blessing for you. But with this Justice, and the Justice is also showing that this is Libra energy. So we have Libra energy with this King of Swords. We also have air sign male energy. So this could be connecting to an air sign older male. Spirit, can we elaborate on this Justice card? I feel like essentially you got what you wanted. That's what I'm hearing. Essentially you got what you wanted. Spirit, can you elaborate on this Justice? Yeah, Three of Cups. You got what you wanted. So there might also, through this death, I think that if this is a physical death, this might be new old relationships and reconnecting with people from your past that maybe you lost out of touch. You got things got lost in translation, or there was just old petty shit and you're just like, life is too short. It's time for us to reconnect. It's time for us to celebrate. It's time for us to pour into each other. So I also feel like there's definitely an ending that brought some relationships closer to you. So this is through these endings and through this death, we're starting to get closer to our loved ones. We're starting to get really seeing the power of community and our tribe. We need each other. We need each other to process. This death and this Three of Cups is also showing me like if you are mourning, when you are grieving, you have people that are with you and people that are supporting you, that are here to uplift you. So take them up on that offer. King of Swords, speak up. If you need help, speak up. Speak up. And like literally putting an end to that I don't need people. Putting an end to I can do this all by myself. Why if you don't have to? Why if you don't have to? It's not necessary. Ace of Cups, Three of Cups. Let your community, let Spirit, let the divine pour into you. Don't block your blessings. Do not block your blessings. It's so easy to, like when bad things, quote unquote, happen to us. I don't want to say they happen to us. They happen with us. When those things happen, it's so easy to like become hardened and just go into complete isolation and go into your shell. But Spirit is saying no, like no, that is not the way. You have a community, you have people here that are here to support you, that are here to pour into you. You need to kiki, you need a laugh, like call that person up. That person might be a Libra. That Libra friend might be the person bringing you out of your bringing you out of your box, bringing you out of your shell. So be open to that. When people are extending themselves to you, calling you, check in, hey, I was just thinking about you. And you need to start doing more of that too, because you might not be recognizing that there's someone that you love that's going through a death and rebirth and they need you. So definitely keep that in mind. Now with this star here, this is beautiful. I feel like a lot of us are really connecting to astrology. So I definitely, astrology being, I feel like there might be a lot more astrological businesses or astrology driven businesses. Maybe astrology is starting to become integrated into people's business models when paying attention, like, okay, when is a good time for me to launch this business? When is a good time for me to plan this trip? When is a good time for me to plan this wedding? Because we are doing a lot of planning. So I feel like we are being more attentive to and seeing how the planets and the stars truly impact us. This is the first science that ever existed. Astrology is the first science that ever existed, and I feel like a lot of us are now going to start returning to that as our truth and starting to see that connection. And it might not be through astrology per se. It could just be through, sorry, I'm realizing that I'm like looking this way, but it might not just be through astrology. It could be through another spiritual modality that brings you closer to the divine. It could be through new meditation. It could be through you connecting and working with tarot cards. But this card is so purple, so I'm definitely seeing like this crown chakra energy, crown chakra activation that's happening. I'm seeing awakenings. I'm seeing unexpected awakenings happening after someone ending. I'm also seeing near death experiences. So you might have had, or someone that you know might have had a near death experience that has caused them to awaken, and now they're like into all this spiritual shit, and you're like, where did that come from? Yeah, because they almost died, and they were in another realm where they were able to see all that life truly is and what this universe is truly composed of, and all these different realms and dimensions and things of that nature. And yeah, that I feel like that was a catalyst for someone's healing, or there's a death that was a catalyst to your healing. Okay, Spirit, can you elaborate on this star? Either way, this star is representative of you returning home to self, which is essentially your faith, which is essentially recognizing that you are a soul or a spiritual being having a human experience. And whereas typically you lived on the surface and lived in the ego, and now you're starting to expand beyond that. Now you're starting to see the purpose in life itself and how it's so much deeper than you've been taught. 5 of Swords coming in. I feel like there was some confusion. I feel like spiritually some of you were confused as well, and now you're starting to get more clarity. You might have been learning and connecting with different religions or different healing modalities, and you're just like, I don't know where to begin, I don't know where to start. Start with what resonates. Follow your North Star. Follow your North Star is what I'm hearing about. That's how you can eliminate some of that confusion. Okay, Spirit, can you elaborate on this star? The Wheel. This is change that was inevitable. And I feel like I definitely spoke about that when we had the death. We have death here and we have the Wheel. So this is inevitable change that is happening. The wheel is turning. This is a cosmic shift, but this is alignment. This is divine alignment. Some of us are really stepping into our purpose, which is such a beautiful thing. We are starting to follow our North Star, and that's when the wheels start to change. That's when we start to see that shift. High Priestess at the bottom, with the 4 of Pentacles. This wheel here, which is 10, is an end of a cycle. Death, an end of a cycle. So this ending, all of these endings are so perfect and in divine timing, because this Aries season is about these new beginnings and where we're starting fresh and how we're starting fresh. And it feels like this energy, I feel like there was a lot of pain that we endured, a lot of death that we have endured as a collective, and now things are starting to feel a lot more aligned. You're starting to walk in your purpose, or life is starting to become more purposeful for you. Spirit, can you elaborate on this wheel? So you know, the wheel, I feel like when people see the Wheel of Fortune, they immediately associate it with luck and things of that nature. I don't, because that's just, you have to look at the cards. But when I see it with the star, this just feels like, this does feel like luck. This feels like so many opportunities, or opportunities starting to, because you are in flow and because you are in alignment and because you are so connected to your spirits, your guides, your ancestors, and your angels. It's like something shifts. It's like superpowers activated for real, and you're just so open. You're and I think that this is like Page of Cups energy that I'm feeling. I wouldn't be surprised if that came through. Like, just being really surprised by it's like being surprised by how the universe works, but then also not being surprised. Does that make sense? Like, oh my gosh, just being in such a deep space of gratitude for all of the things that are starting to manifest in your life, but also like, damn, I can't believe I manifested this. I can't believe that this was something that was even possible. Spirit, can you elaborate on this wheel? I'm hearing something about society standards. So I'm feeling freedom. I'm feeling freedom. I'm feeling liberation. This is freedom. This is liberation. You no longer being confused about who you are and why you were put here, why your spirit is here, why your soul incarnated into this lifetime when it did. There's a lot more clarity and understanding about the whys. So we're manifesting a new connection to spirit, which in turn we're manifesting a new connection to ourselves. So, okay, what just came through? 7 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, and the 7 of Cups. So that's where that confusion was. That's where that confusion is coming in with the 7 of Pentacles. It's like I've been led to this point, and now spirit is telling me that I have to pivot, or now my soul is telling me that the one thing that was once my North Star was never actually my North Star. That North Star was being revealed. This 9 of Cups energy is really telling me that everything that you want is available to you. But no buts. Everything that you want is available to you. I think that where you are, or where we are going to have to tighten up, is when it comes to acceptance. Because manifestations and opportunities that are going to surprise us or be really unexpected are going to flow to us, that's when the doubt starts to settle in. That's when I didn't work hard enough for this, or I didn't work for this, or I don't know if I'm deserving of it. That's what will block your blessing. That's where the 7 of Cups energy about the confusion. The 7 of Pentacles is like, oh, but I worked hard to do this and this and that, but okay, now spirit is leading you somewhere else. You're also going from like 7s into a 9 here. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be skipping some steps. Two of Wands coming through as well. I feel like some of us are going to be skipping some steps. That's why I'm saying that's where the guilt and the fear is going to start to settle in, because it's just like you're going to be talking to yourself and telling yourself that someone else deserves this. But it's just like, but you are in alignment. You are aligned. Like, you did your sacrifice. You released enough. You released enough. You have to release in order to receive. And you've released, and now the spirit is granting you, hence this Ace of Cups, hence this 9 of Cups, hence this Star, like injustice. Like, you are getting what you want. And don't question it. Do not question it. Like, you worked for it. You did your bid. You did your time. And now spirit is here to reward. Okay, spirit. What are we being called to do or to embody this Aries season or this new year? So we have healing. we have healing here. So this might be a year where you are initiating your own healing, giving yourself more space to heal. With that death card, there's a lot of grief happening. Have you given yourself the time and space to mourn and to process all that you have released or all that has been lost in your life? Because there's going to be a void. Spirit is going to fill that back in, but that doesn't make it easier. So we have to make sure that we're still prioritizing our healing. So this might encourage you to see another healer. This may encourage you to go to an actual medical doctor. This might encourage you to go to a spiritual healer, an energetic healer, past life regression, Reiki, acupuncture, tarot, mediumship. Holding space for your heart. I think also doing some inner child healing as well. Because those thoughts of, I didn't work hard enough or I don't deserve this, you're going to start to realize that those might be things that that stemmed from your childhood. Okay, Spirit. What else are we being called to focus on or to embody this Aries season and astrological new year? I'm hearing guidance receive. I'm also feeling like this healing is, I don't know if I said it, but therapy or psychotherapy, recognizing that it might be time for you, maybe recognizing that like, okay, I think that medicine is something that I need. I think that support will be really helpful for me, and I'm not ashamed about it. And that could be that King of Swords energy, you saying that this is making that demand. Change. You have the snake in here. Like, we really are shifting. We really are transforming. We are shedding skin. So embrace that change. Lots of Scorpio energy here. There might be a lot of Scorpios watching this, or people with heavy Scorpio placements. Okay. What are we being called to embody or focus on? One last card. Okay, y'all. Rebirth. Rebirth. You are a new person. Spirit is making it that way. You are growing. You are expanding. I mean, these messages are so clear that we are truly undergoing like a major shift and major inner transformation. And those internal transformations that we focus on and heal through impact the nature of our relationships on a macro and micro level. So they impact our immediate connections and our immediate relationships and the people that we connect with. But that creates a bigger change and a bigger spark just through prioritizing our own healing. And maybe that's what you're also starting to recognize too. That you were just a star in a universe, and there's lots of stars that make up that universe. But each star shines, and now it's time to shine. Now it's time to step up and shed some skin and heal and transform and be committed to your own personal healing, to your own personal growth, so that you can step into this new life with confidence, so that you can step out with this new life with, I don't want to say entitlement, but I don't know a better word for it, because this is what you worked for. This is what you deserve. This is it. So you are entitled to that. You are entitled to that. When you do the work, you're expecting, when you show up for a job and you do the work, you are expecting a check at the end of the week, at the end of the month. You are expecting some sort of exchange or some sort of benefit. So I think that like what Spirit is trying to say is like, you showed up for work, and when you're showing up to do the work, Spirit is going to reward you. The work is never in vain, and I will end it there. I'm so excited to grow. I'm fucking terrified. I'm scared. There's a lot of beautiful things that are unraveling right before my eyes, and I'm so excited to share them with you. But let's just say a bitch is shook. A bitch is like fucking shook, but so excited. And I'm excited to do this with you, and I'm excited to expand with you. I love you guys as always. If these messages resonate, then you can let me know in the comments, and you can also book a one-on-one reading with me. You can also shop my conjure shop. I will be updating and sprucing the shop up. I know I kind of been neglecting the shop because I've had so many other things going on, but I promise your girl is just really trying to find that balance between work, 2 businesses, and then mom and, you know, homemaking life. So it's a lot, but we were all equipped with these tools. It's just embracing this change and stepping into that new life. So I love you guys, and I'm so happy to journey with you. So take care.